Hey there. Saw the King's speech yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I'm conflicted right now, which means something. Basically between an 8 and a 9. I feel that it's an 8. But the acting and the performances are so good that I kind of want to give it a 9. Because I think the acting alone gives it a point or 2 points, a point at the least, and I definitely wouldn't give the film a 7, and making the overall an 8 with the acting, but I don't know if I want to give it an 8 with a 9. Anyway, I don't know, so I'm thinking about calling it an 8, but the acting's so good that I kind of want to give it a 9. But I'm not sure. 8.5. It's about King George VI. It's a period piece. It's London in the 1920s and 30s, basically. The King George V, has 2 sons. He passes, leaves it to his first son, but then in a scandal, his first son must abandon the throne, leaving it to his younger brother. And his younger brother is King George VI. Bertie is plagued by a stammer, a stutter. And he has been for as long as he can remember. And he has to be the king. He has to give speeches. He has to lead a country. And he has no voice to do that. So his wife finds a vocal voice teacher to help him find his voice. In a nutshell, that's what the movie's about. Directed by Tom Hooper. I'm not familiar with his work. I mean, I'm sure I would be if I did a little research. The cast is outstanding. The cast and the acting is why you go to this movie. One, it's got Colin Firth. Colin Firth will most likely win the Oscar for this. His performance is amazing. It's amazing. He has... Well, first of all, he has to stutter for the entire show. And he does it perfectly. Again, his performance is flawless. I don't know what else to call it. So you've got Colin Firth giving... he gives tremendous performances in whatever he's in, but this is probably the performance of his career. It's got one of my favorites. He's been my favorite, since I first found out about him. Geoffrey Rush. He plays the vocal teacher. Geoffrey Rush is great. I think Geoffrey Rush is great in everything. If he's in a bad movie, he makes that movie better. If he's in a great movie, then he makes that movie better. He's a great actor. I have loved him since Shine, and I will pretty much watch a movie for Geoffrey Rush. And he delivers here. In fact, yes, Colin Firth really is the star of the show here. He gives an amazingly complex and difficult performance. But, for half the film, he is sitting across from Geoffrey Rush. And they are acting together. And I think that can only make him better. They brought out the best in each other. And if Colin Firth gets nominated, and I think he will, in fact I believe he will win, then Geoffrey Rush certainly deserves a nomination. I just thought he was amazing in the movie. Helena Bonham Carter is the king's wife, I guess the queen? I don't know. Helena Bonham Carter. Then there's Michael Gambon. There's Timothy Spall, who's in the Harry Potter films. He plays Winston Churchill here. Who else is in there? Guy Pearce. He plays the scandalous older brother. Who else is in there? There's a lot of faces that I recognized, even from British film. I really liked the movie. It seemed long. It was, I think, an hour and 50 minutes. It felt long. It requires your attention. And I know that that's a given, but, I mean, really, it seriously requires, it's basically an hour and 50 minutes of, people talking, developing character. It's not a popcorn movie. It's not action-packed. You're not glued to the screen. I was reminded of an Eddie Izzard bit where, well, it was If You Imagine Star Wars, except with all British actors or something like that, and are just British films as compared to American films where you've got explosions, and then in British films you've got people staring out of windows and going, oh, wow. It reminded me a lot of that. I mean, I don't want to say I was bored, but just a little bit my attention span wandered. It didn't keep me, like, pinned to the screen. And I think that just comes down to the very simplistic way of directing, of shooting the film. And I think it was a good choice because it showcases the acting. They just compose a shot, make it look good, and then let the actors go to work. And so it's just kind of like lulling. You're lulled into it, and maybe you just get a little bored. I thought that it was just a tinge monotonous. I mean, it went through these little arcs, these little story arcs, just over and over again. It just seemed, I don't know, again, slightly repetitive, monotonous. But still, don't get me wrong, a very good movie. It serves as what I feel is almost a historical document. We see the rise of Hitler in this film. We basically see the very beginnings of World War II. We get a lot of politics. We get to see a lot of English life in that decade, so I think it's very interesting. I mean, again, it's a window into a world that doesn't exist anymore. I feel that it serves as a historical document. It's so accurate, or feels accurate. I think it also captures, the true things. It's about friendship. It's about equality. It's about loyalty. It has, a very good message, and I mean it's very uplifting at the end. I felt. Again, the performances here are fantastic. Colin Firth is amazing, and again, that's why I feel like I should give it a 9, is for Colin Firth. But and Jeffrey Rush. Again, they bring each other up. They support each other. They play well together. And again, I think it makes the film rise above the, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it is very plain. It's very plain, but again, that plainness lets the acting rule the show, and I think that's very important. I don't know what else to say. Oh, I thought it was funny. It has that dry British wit that I thoroughly enjoy. So I thought I was laughing a lot more than the people in the theater, though. I'll tell you that much. But I noticed the crowd was kind of old. But I thought it was quite funny. You know, I had a good time. I thought Jeffrey Rush, man, he's just amazing. Again, these two performances from these two master classman actors should get you to the theater. I mean, I am endorsing this film. I think it should be seen. If not just to see one of the best working actors working. And again, I have no doubt that it will be an Oscar contender in the big races. I'm maybe not director or screenplay, but I could see it being picture, and definitely actor. I think it'll win actor, and supporting actor, and maybe supporting actress too. Helena Bonham Carter does a very good job. But I mean, I won't, you know, be ashamed to tell you she's overshadowed a little bit. So I can't think of much else. Again, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9, but that belongs to the acting. I feel that, you know, whatever, 8.5, I feel like I'm backtracking. But at least, you know, that conflict, I think, should tell you something about the film. Again, I'm still thinking about it, so that supports my 9 case, if anything. So I really enjoyed it. That's the King's Speech. I can't think of much else I want to say about it other than I will study Colin Firth's performance, as will many other actors, for many years to come. All right. Thank you very much.